All right, Shalom. Before I continue this lesson, I want to start off, by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother lawyer, and I teach the Great Millstone National Camp. Come back with a quick lesson. And this lesson will be entitled, The Allies Are Split. The Allies are split between America and its allies. This video was dropped 15 hours ago. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So these nations are split, and as it says, like I was saying, Salaki got distracted. This was dropped 15 hours ago. And I said, I'm going to save this and do a lesson on it in the morning. So it says, and this is from Salaki. This is a guy I watch. I think his name is Daniel. Yeah, Daniel Davis, Deep Dive. And as you see, it says UK blocks Trump from using air bases to hit Iran. Because a few years ago, and prior to the nations turning against America, the nations used to bend to America's will. You can use our air base, our airspace to attack these other nations. But now the UK, they really don't want no parts of, attacking Iran. They don't want no parts of it. And ultimately, they know that Iran is capable of hitting them. So these other nations, the nations that's aligned with Babylon, they're not bending to the will of Babylon anymore. And so let me get this real quick, because Satan's house is divided. And of course, Satan ain't always literally talking about, the actual entity, Satan. This is going into a man. Just like how we were divided, the northern kingdom versus the southern kingdom, So this is Mark 3:25 says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And so these nations, they won't last. This is not going to continue on. And then 30 years down the road, you see the aftermath of America being by itself. And then you got the NATO, not NATO. You got the NATO, other NATO states. They separate. America's outcasted, and everyone's aligned with Russia and Iran and China. And, it's just America and Israel. No, that's not what's set up. What's set up is that, they had a certain time to rule, and now it's up. Joel 14, and the Lord is bringing these other nations down for what they've done to his people. Joel 3 in the 2nd chapter, Joel 14:5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So he has a certain time, a certain set measure of time to rule, and then that's it. And then we're coming up on the 250th year, or this is the 250th year, that America has been born, so to speak. Every kingdom has ruled about 250 years, and then they fell off, or they failed. So this is their time. And I'm not going to play this video. You can go in here and play the video, Ecclesiastes 3, starting in 1, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal. And we're in the time of killing. You know, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, is taking peace from the earth. And let me get that. Revelation 6:4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given him a great sword. And so that's going to happen. You know, these other nations are going to fight, go to war. You know, these are end time prophecies. World War III. You know, the third woe. And he's taking peace from the earth. Got these different policies. Hell, this war that he's trying to start with Iran is not lawful. All these wars prior to World War, even World War II and World War I was really fraudulent, but it was basically started off of a good lie, so to speak. You know, this is Isaiah. This is Isaiah. Yeah, Isaiah 10:1 says, "Woe, which means destruction, unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." And you know that's what they do. They have these unrighteous laws that they pass. You know that's what part of the New World Order is. You know, a list of unrighteous decrees and laws so that it can benefit them. Like how it says in that was it Wisdom of Solomon 2? Let the law of justice be for us. You know, they're gonna use their law, you know, call it justice. Hey, what we say goes. You know, if you don't get down with it, you're gonna get locked up. You know, if you don't take the MOTB, you know, you're gonna get locked up or beheaded. You know, unrighteous decrees. And these other nations, they see the unrighteous decrees and they're tired of it. You know, so they hate the whore. And eventually they're going to burn her with fire via the nuclear missiles. This is the end of Esau, Edom. Revelation 17:16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, and Britain is one of those 10 horns. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. You know, she's going to be desolate, destroyed, and naked. And her nakedness is being seen. Who she really is. Oh, okay, you like this. And you're going to turn against us? You know? Yeah, UK is one of those 10 horns. You know? And they're tired of her. That's in Jeremiah. Yeah, these nations. Oh, that's not. Was it Jeremiah? I thought one was in Jeremiah too. But anyway, Revelation 11:18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give a reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroyed the earth. So let's break this down. The nations were angry. Who are they mad at? Babylon the Great, America. We just read how, you know, the 10 horns shall hate the whore. One of the 10 horns is the UK. You know, they hate America. They're starting to hate America. Germany, France. France is another one. You know, Germania Major, Germania Minor. You know, the Spaniards, the British. You know, and then of course you got the Greeks, the Romans, you know, which all those nations, they comprise of, you know, the Greco-Roman Empire. It's the Roman Empire that's back to date, whose deadly wound was healed, you know. So that's happening. That wrath is come in the time of the day that they should be judged, and that's getting ready to happen. But after that, because Jacob, let me get that. Second Ezra 6. Second Ezra 6. I'll get the main point. Second Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So going back to Revelation 11:18, that's the beginning of Jacob's rule. When the Lord comes back and he reward, it's in verse Salaki, Revelation 11:18 is early, and that thou shouldest give reward to thy servants the prophets, the kingdom of heaven, salvation, and our I'm part of that number, our world to come, and to the saints and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And who's destroying the earth? Well, let's see who was given the earth. Job 9:24, classic. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where who is he? Who covered the faces of the judges? You got something called whitewashing, and it was his iconoclasm that happened. What happened to the Russian icons that Putin showed? Oh, he showed dark images, so-called Negro images of who? The Messiah. The Black Madonna. Who did that? Who covered the faces of the judges? Esau, Edom. And he was given the earth. And he's destroying the earth. So the Lord's going to destroy him. That's what's getting ready to happen. This is Second Thessalonians. I'm gonna close with this, but y'all can go look at this video for yourselves. Second Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the mystery of iniquity had worked back then, which was, it was started with the Greeks and it was the Romans during the time of the Lord. And the Roman Empire is Edom. And matter of fact, let me pull that up. And there you go. You got it. The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomites, is a historical book by William Beeston, first published in 1853, that argues the Roman Empire originated from the Edomites. And so everybody know who the Romans were, and who are they today? They're back today. The Americans, NATO, EU, the French, all that. That's that beast today. They're part of that beast today. And that woman is America. It says, verse 8, 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And that's happening as of right now too. He's being consumed by the spirit of the Lord's mouth via his prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So when he comes back, he's coming to a world ruled by the Edomites. And it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. Satan house divided with all power and signs and lying wonders. So this is going to happen very soon. Verse 8, when the Lord shall destroy him when he comes back. So Lord will, this is an edifying lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakodash, Shalom.